Welcome to another episode of Anime Mondays, featuring yours truly, the Geek Life. Today we'll be talking about a little bit of an introduction to Season 4 of Attack on Titan and the craziness that, or not so much in terms of craziness, but some interesting lore and stuff like that that happens in the first roughly three episodes or so. So without further ado, let's begin.
Yep. So before we go anywhere, we're only going up to the end of episode 3, so no spoilers in the comments. But I've seen ahead of this. I think I've seen up to episode 9. But I will only be limiting my knowledge base to what happens at the end of episode 3, and I won't even include my speculation that may or may not have turned out to be accurate. To not, ruin or even influence anyone that has not yet seen those episodes. Um, so I think we talked a little bit about the end of season 3 and our thoughts on it in the first episode that we did. And off the back, we're in a full-out war zone. There's new characters. We don't know anybody, right? We see a whole bunch of we see Marley at war, right? And what are your thoughts on what transpired in the opening of season 4?
So my thoughts is it's definitely interesting. We get catapulted straight into a war between Marley and some enemies of the, what do they call it? Kind of like a version of the Middle East or something like that.
Yeah.
And I found it interesting because you see this new group of warriors trying to prove who who the best one of them should be to inherit the armor titan's powers once Rainier's time is up, and just seeing how they go about their strategy on how to take out some of the trains and ultimately the fort on top of the hill,
Hmm.
which, in case anybody forgot, there's some not so fun trains that apparently have some sort of casings. I don't know what
Those
caliber those
ballistics
things
are
are.
crazy. They
that if they hit
shredded.
the
Rainer got shredded, didn't he?
oh yeah, if they hit a titan, they are going straight through you. Um, and as you can see in, was it the first episode, I believe, where it basically tore off Rainier's arm, and being the armored titan, he has one of the thickest shells basically.
I don't know, man. Rainer looking kind of weak, all considered. The way he got shredded like I don't know. That was some glass and butter. It was rough.
Yeah, which is surprising considering how tanky he seemed to have appeared when he was first introduced all the way back in season one, tanking through a wall and everything.
That is absolutely true, but that was a long time ago. Rainer at the moment is just he getting kind of roughed up.
Yep.
But I will say, and I'm gonna take a minute to switch directions because we jumped into the opening scene. But what did you think about the opening video? Right, you have
Oh,
the
the
new
opening
the
credits.
Boku no Senso,
I
My
actually,
War.
I actually really liked it. It's definitely one of my, I would say, top two favorite openings for it. Like right on par with the first season for nostalgic reasons and everything.
Guren no Yumiya. It's as I mentioned. I think we talked about it a little bit before because I don't. I think I mentioned it, but I don't know if you had saw it up or at that point in time. But it's intense. Like those, I- I've seen videos of people go out of their way to show, you know, the scenes from the opening against real world scenes, like from war or from explosions or from bombings and tanks and military marches. It's accurate, right?
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, Attack on Titan has developed into more than just this anime that was kind of, so far away, a mystical world, of titans and of people trying to survive. It's just it's a war anime now.
It
So
is, and it kind of showed first like 3 seasons. It was like, all right, we were just focused in on like Greenland, let's say. Now we have this whole world concept that just opened up for us. And in terms of the technology, it's kind of like for all you history buffs, like back in the day, like Europe was the pinnacle of technology a couple hundred years ago, as opposed to the Native Americans in the North and South America. So it kind of just showcased how much more technology Marley has, as opposed to within Wall Maria and Wall Rose that we came to know and love.
um, also one thing I think that's super interesting. We understand this is about to be a season of death and a season of war. So at this point, all of our characters could die. This is the final season, all right? We understand that Aaron and Armin technically have a counter on their lives already, right? How Aaron has what, 3 years at
For
most left,
4 years, I believe it is.
or 4 years at the moment.
Yep, and Armin has 9, if my time skip math is correct.
So off the bat, that's kind of crazy. So we understand that two of our favorite characters already have a life expectancy in range. And so when I hear that, I feel like the chances of them dying early on in the season, or maybe we'll see them die at the very end. Maybe they'll die to natural causes. We're not sure. Um, but I have a feeling they won't die in the war.
Uh, yeah, I don't feel like they'll die early, especially Aaron, because of this whole trope of main character powers. I think Aaron, if he does die, he's probably going to be one of the later, one of the last deaths to happen, if anything.
So you kind of felt that way too. That I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
I am also intrigued to see how exactly all the pieces fall into place now. Because how do you think they're gonna how do you think they'll introduce our people? Because up until this point, we've only seen one side, right? We've seen one side. We've seen Marley. We don't know what our people are doing. It's been what, 2 or 3 years? I'm not sure.
4 years.
4 years since we last saw Aaron.
Yep. And like you said, so far in the first 3 episodes, it's just been we started off with Marley's side perspective, and then we went straight into a flashback. So it's like no real knowledge of what's going on the other side.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to how they're gonna deal with that, my thoughts are I think they're gonna showcase one of the main characters, whether it be Aaron or Captain Levi or someone. Um, I think at least one, if not more of them, just coming together and saying, all right, now that we have some idea of there's some unknown out there, how are we going to go about going out there? Who are we going to bring? How are we going to find Rainier and the Beast Titan? And what are we going to do once we find them?
So I have a question for you. What do you think? Do you think they've been doing nothing the entire time? Do you think they're working in the background, or
Yeah, I definitely think that they definitely been working in the background. Probably trying to get some information or what, I'm not sure. But it would definitely be a waste of 4 years, especially if they were doing nothing, especially since two main characters have a life expectancy, like you said.
yep?
Uh,
So who knows? The way I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we only have what I think 16 episodes that we know are supposed to be in this season.
something
Let me
like
check
that.
real quick. Let me check again. So you don't. I don't want you to see any spoilers.
Yeah. And while you're
So
doing, go ahead.
at the moment, I only see two. So they have a listing for 12 episodes, right?
So you think they'll do kind of like a split season, maybe?
I'm not sure. I think that information is still kind of out there for now.
Okay. And one thing that would be interested in is there's definitely going to be. I already know there's going to be some sort of conflict, some fighting going on. Why wouldn't they be between Marley and what we know of? But one thing that I would be excited of, in case he makes an appearance again in combat, is our good old pal Sonic the Hedgehog, also known as Captain Levi. Because it seems
Yeah,
whenever he fights one of the nine Titans, he always goes supersonic mode, and y'all know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah. To me, those are probably my favorite parts of any combat in
When
Attack on
he's going
Titan.
crazy.
Yeah.
When- yes. The, and then also thinking back when we see the Beast Titan again, seeing him crush up rocks and throw them just made me angry all over again, as I was in season 3, part 2, as he killed hundreds of people.
Yeah.
That was very aggravating. Very, very aggravating. But I mean, at the end of the day, what do you do, right?
What can you do?
Yeah, you just, I guess you accept it and keep moving.
And if you do happen to survive, hopefully your allies have an extra usage of Titan spinal fluid.
I mean, that's the hope, though, right?
Yeah. And then an enemy that's one of the nine Titans that you can eat after transforming.
Yikes. so, so we had the battle, right? We also got to see we saw the not the chin titan, that's what I call it, the jaw. We saw the jaw titan, what who Ymir, the power that Ymir had before. And
Hmm.
we also didn't we get to see the cart titan again?
Yeah, we got to see the Cart Titan again, and unlike the previous time we saw her with just supplies on her back, we actually see her with turrets on her back this time around, which I thought was a nice little touch.
Uh. So what were your thoughts upon seeing it?
It was kind of interesting. I,
I was disgusted. I had beef. One could say I was very disturbed. I was like, I'm mad at this character.
yeah, the disturbing part was the cruelty behind Marley dropping all those innocent people down just for the Beast Titan to just say, "All right, guys, transform now into living bombs," pretty much.
Yeah, that's more or less exactly what happened.
Yep. Go take the anti-air cannon flak stuff for me.
Yeah. So, at the close of the battle, we did also get to see some fairly interesting. We got to see kind of the lives of at least the descendants of the king, right?
Hmm.
Those with Titan blood. We got to see a little bit into their lives, right? For better or for worse, and all the chaos that surrounds them. Um,
And all
it's interesting, huh? Go ahead.
and all the joyous persecution that they faced for nothing of their own doing.
Oh yes, that's my thought exactly.
Why does this sound so realistic?
Oh, it is utterly. It very much is to a fault, but it's clear that Raynor has PTSD. We see him kind of battling within himself. He almost has split. He's almost developed different identities to handle all the trauma and to try to silo it and protect himself. Um,
And speaking of protecting, it's definitely interesting in seeing him how he talks to. I can't remember the name of the guy, but he's the younger brother of the successor to the Beast Titan. And just seeing how he talks to him and say, "Hey, you gotta work towards being my successor to the Armored Titans, so you can save the girl that you like from this fate."
yeah.
As if my math's correct, I if she was to become the successor, she would only live to be about 26, 27, which
hmm
is not a old age to be dying at all.
So, do you remember anything? Do you remember anything special about season two or season three? Or, excuse me, episode two, episode three.
Um, so the main things that I remembered from those episodes was just a little bit of the persecution as they got to, as Rainier and the um, rest of the folks got sent back to where their families are located at, and just and to me it kind of reminded me of some sort of like camp or something like that. I wouldn't necessarily go as far as saying like a concentration camp or anything like that, but just seeing the conditions that they lived in, it's not cool, and so that's one big thing that I remember, as well as the other one being the start of the flashback stuff, which we can definitely get to in a minute.
So, one thing that I think is extremely interesting, right? We got to see we got to see a lot of new characters, including we met Gabby, who was the young girl
Hmm.
who actually went in and took out the I guess
The
the turret
train.
that was on. Yep. So we did get to see we got to see Gabby. We also met Falco, and both of them I think are in contention to become uh, the new candidates for
Yeah, they're
or new
two.
warriors. That's what they call them, right?
Yeah, they're two
The
of the
warriors.
three or four warrior candidates for the
Yep.
armored titan.
And I'm sure we're supposed to get attached to them to some extent. So who knows where that's gonna go, right?
Yeah. Although it
Um,
would be kind of interesting if one or more of those warriors get to meet Armin and Aaron at some point.
oh, I'm sure they probably will, and it probably won't be a good thing whenever that happens.
Yep.
I mean, again, and one thing I'm sure that they're probably gonna take. There's not gonna be a good guy, bad guy, right? The I think we're past that. Everyone's more or less doing what they think is right from their own perspective to protect those people they care about, right?
Hmm.
I think long gone is the idea of good and bad.
Yeah, but I think that was more or less season one, season two type of thing. Like if you remember in season one when the Titans first broke through the wall and Aaron had that kind of rage mode on where he's like, "All right, I'm gonna kill these Titans." That kind of seemed like more of a good choice. I'm on the side of light and everything, but nowadays it's more or less grayed out. It's like, what really is the good side of Attack on
For
Titan?
real. One thing I'm also intrigued to see, I know that we are going to, I think we're going to see Aaron at the end of season four or at the end of season three. Aaron was a lot darker than we had seen him before, right? He had the memories of his father, he had the memories of those that came before him, and he seemed to be in a kind of a dark state of mind.
Yeah.
Um, Again, how far that goes, I don't know, but he is not the same person that we've seen in season one or season two, I mean, he's completely different for
N-
better and for worse.
Pretty much a full 180, more or less.
Well, I don't even know if it's quite, he's not going the opposite way. He's just his motivations are far more complex now than they have been in the past,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's before he just wanted to destroy the Titans and live in peace. And then if you remember at the end of season 3, when he sees one of the Titans, he's like, this is just another soldier. This is one of our brethren. And he he doesn't everyone's worried about killing. He's like, this one can't hurt anything. There's no need to even kill this thing. Like, why would we even do that?
Yep.
It's dark. Because that's the opposite of I'm gonna kill all of the Titans. Um
Kind of changed from that to I just want to kill some of the Titans.
I mean, it seems like he's past that, truthfully. He's not necessarily overly worried about killing the Titans.
Yep. And then while we're talking about the Titans, we also kind of got a bit of a hint of a new nine Titan that'll be making an appearance in the future. The From the Tibbers family, the Warhammer Titan.
What number Titan is that? They have how many Titans? Seven or eight?
Should be nine Titans then. At least eight, if not nine.
So we have the Armor Titan, Colossal.
Yep,
We have the Female Titan.
that's three.
We have the
Beast Titan,
Attack
Beast
Titan,
Titan 4, Attack
Beast,
Titan 5,
the Jaw,
Warhammer Titan 6, Jaw
Warhammer,
Titan 7.
um, and the Cart. I don't know what they call the cart, but I'm just gonna call it Cart.
Yep, that'll make it eight, right?
Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yep, I have eight.
Good.
I
So,
don't know if there's any more outside of that.
I feel like there's one more, but if there was a nine, what would they call them? The Power of the Nine. So I feel like there's one more that we just haven't seen yet.
Yep. And I do also think it's interesting that we got to see Marcel, who is the person that has the Jaw Titan,
Hmm.
and we saw Marcel. We also saw the woman that is the
The Cart
um
Titan.
yeah, I don't know her name though.
I don't remember her name either. But speaking of which, I need to go back and rewatch a little bit of season one to remind myself what the heck happened to Annie. Because I remember she crystallized herself.
That's exactly what happened to Anna.
Yeah. Because it would be kind of interesting if the folks behind the wall said, yeah, we're gearing up for war. We need somebody to assume the female Titan form for us.
I think
Any
she's still probably
volunteers?
crystallized. I don't think they know how to break it.
Maybe
Which is a separate issue.
maybe it might take somebody getting the Warhammer Titan on their side to break it.
Or maybe the Jaw.
Yeah. Because I have heard that those two Titans have pretty good attacking capabilities. War
That would make sense.
Warhammer Titan from its Warhammer and the Jaw Titan from its claws and jaw strength. I don't remember what the stats are in the Jaw Titan, but I think it should be like, I don't know, crocodile strength jaw PSI or something ridiculous.
As long as it's enough to break through, hey, I don't care what it is. If it can break through that's all I need, truthfully. If it can break through, we're good.
Yeah. As I would find it cool to have the female take Titan make a reappearance.
I'm intrigued because again, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm intrigued with how they're gonna pull that off, or if they even pull it off, right?
Yeah. And what type of effect would it have on Annie too? Like, is she technically in stasis or what?
Hey, you're asking the right question. You're asking the absolute right question.
Mm. So hopefully they cover that at some point or another. Because I would really like to find out more about Annie.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see how it plays out, though. Truthfully, we
Yeah.
have a lot of room left. I mean, to be fair, again, if it's only 12 episodes, who knows how much time we actually have? I
Might,
mean,
it might not be a
it
lot.
true. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
As this is supposed to be the final season, so regardless if it may be a split season, I'm not sure, but still, it's not a lot of time to get a lot of stuff done.
I don't know if we have enough time, truthfully. So that's something that I'm really intrigued to see. Do we have enough time to actually finish the story?
That that's probably the issue with calling something the final season, is you got to make sure that you finish the story.
I mean, truthfully, that's what we're all hoping for at this point.
Especially for something like Attack on Titan that's been only having what was it, 24 or 26 episodes a season.
I have not seen a confirmed number yet, so I can't tell you with certainty.
Yeah. Unlike one of the other big players like Naruto or Bleach, that's just like, yeah, we'll just finish the story. We're not worrying about calling something a final season. Well, there you have it, folks. Attack on Titan, first three episodes. Ne- Next time on Anime Mondays, we'll be taking a look at the next few episodes of Attack on Titan season 4. So it should prove to be quite the interesting set, and we'll see where our intrepid heroes go from there. So until then, definitely stay geeky, and don't forget hit the subscribe and notification bar, and don't forget to comment.